Anthony Davis, but both teams, you saw, to me, the entire time we were watching this, it was always a question of who really has the leverage, because you know Anthony Davis clearly does not want to be in New Orleans. You know he's going to leave. You know where he wants to go. So even though David Griffin wanted to put out, we're going to negotiate with other teams, we're talking and listening to calls, Rich Paul and Anthony Davis made it clear where he ultimately wanted to be. So are you willing to give up so much and mortgage your future for a potential one-year deal with Anthony Davis? The Lakers were the one team that knew that he would stay. So therefore, with the Lakers side of things, they had to give all of that up, but ultimately they got what they wanted in the end.
When the Lakers went into this either unintentional or intentional tanking mode from the previous few seasons,
yes,
if you'd have told them on the other side of it, you're getting Anthony Davis, that's the end result. 5 years of just bottoming out. What you're going to walk away with is Anthony Davis. They said, worth it. Totally worth it. And after 5 years of tanking, unintentionally in the beginning, pseudo-intentionally as of late, and then last year, obviously, they didn't mean to tank at all, they got Anthony Davis. We know the names. There's 7 guys in the league that individually are difference makers. LeBron, KD, Harden, Steph, Giannis, Anthony Davis, Kawhi. No particular order, just how they came to me. Those are the 7 guys. There's a whole nother list of all-stars, fringe superstars, Paul George, Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, maybe, or at least he was. But those 7 guys are the 7 invaluable assets in basketball. They do not become available via trade. They become available via free agency. 2 of them in the last year have now come available via trade. One because disgruntled with the team because of medical issues. The other disgruntled with the team due to incompetence. And so for the Lakers to be able to get one of those and sign the other one through free agency the year before, it's an A+. You can now, what is a championship worth is the question. Because you went from, could the Lakers make the Western Conference Finals based on the power of LeBron James in year what, C?
17.
Year 17. 2, how big a favorite should the Lakers be to win the NBA Finals? That's what this trade does for you.
It's a great deal for the Lakers, and I'm so glad they kept Kuzma. So we have to get congratulations to Rob Pelinka, because you talk about the dysfunction. Man, most of my friends, my family, man, we were raised in dysfunction, and we learned how to function at a high level in dysfunction. But this changes the franchise. This gives Rob Pelinka an opportunity to be able to resurrect whatever we've thought about him and Magic Johnson, Jenny Buss, and everything else that was going on, the Ramby family and everything. This is the most solid move that they've made in the last couple years, given what we've seen the last 2 months coming out of Los Angeles. It's a deal that they had to make, and you can't pay too much for something that's we just had the golf tournament on Fox at Pebble Beach. Right. How much would you pay for Pebble Beach? It's the only strip of land in the world just like that. Well, let me tell you something. The unibrow. We've seen a lot of unibrows, but not basketball playing unibrows. All right? So you have to be able to pay that price to get a player like AD.
And a lot of people are comparing this to the Boston Celtics Brooklyn Nets trade back in 2013, which I lived through. And I will say, to me, aside from the picks, aside from the first-round picks that were traded, it's entirely different, because you were looking at a Kevin Garnett and a Paul Pierce that were towards the end of their careers. You are getting Anthony Davis.
Combined age, they was old as the Brooklyn Bridge.
Combined age.
I'm trying to be gentle.
Without renovation and everything.
They were combined 73 years old.
Yeah.
They were 37 and 36 years old. They were both a decade older
so you're getting
than Anthony Davis.
26-year-old Anthony Davis. And I think for all of us, and it's similar to me in a little ways of the Kawhi situation, he played 50-some-odd games last year. It wasn't because of health reasons. It wasn't because of injury. It was because of the circumstance. And I think oftentimes we're forgetting just how unbelievable of a player, how he entirely can change the complexion of a franchise, and then add him with quite possibly the best player in the game.
So that's just it. It's not just that you're getting the Anthony Davis. You're getting the Anthony Davis who happens to pair up with LeBron extremely well. Talk about how those two fit and how their game works.
I believe Anthony Davis is the future of the NBA. If you could draw up a basketball player for me, how tall would he be? What would his skill level be? Anthony Davis it wouldn't be no small guy. It wouldn't be no wing player. No, give me a big, a guy that's got a post game, a guy that's got an intermediate game, and is not reluctant to shoot. People don't realize Anthony Davis he had a growth spurt. Man, he was a point guard. He learned how to handle the ball. That's how he can shoot the ball so good, shoots from the free throw line well. To me, this is the future NBA player. He's going to be 6'8" to 6'10" and going to be deadly from the three-point line and be able to do other things with this game. And I'm not even going to mention that he's one of the best defenders that we have in the league. This is the future of the NBA.
And one other thing you missed, he runs the floor. I mean, you want to talk about a transition game and the way in which he can also be versatile. You could play him at the 5. He likes to play the 4. LeBron, you can mix him. I mean, there's a lot of different ways in which you could put together a lineup. You need to find some shooters.
Yep.
But he brings everything to the table.
His one weakness is three-point shooting. He's 33% last year, but he was 38% on spot-up threes. He'll get a lot of spot-up threes on the pick and pop. Last year, his down year, 26, 12, and 4 with a PER of 30. The previous year, his last full season, he was 3rd in the MVP voting. His last 2 seasons combined, he was 28 points per game, 11 rebounds, and almost won Defensive Player of the Year. He is every year he's healthy, he's a top 5 MVP candidate. His last healthy year, he lost Boogie Cousins and went out and swept the Blazers in the first round in a series. He dropped 47 points in the closeout game. He's a great player. That the Lakers would have done this deal and been smart if LeBron wasn't there. With LeBron in year 17, to no doubter, and that's why they're the championship favorites.
Lakers weren't the only teams to want Anthony Davis. Sarah, stick around. Coming up, why couldn't Boston get in the Anthony Davis sweepstakes? That's next on First Things.
Because they didn't want Marcus Smart, Yabusele in the 14th pick. That's why.
Minimums and fees, they seem to be the very foundation of your typical bank. Capital One is anything but typical. That's why we designed Capital One Cafes. You can get savings and checking accounts with no fees or minimums, and one of America's best savings rates. To top it off, you can open one from anywhere in 5 minutes. This isn't a typical bank. This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Tonight, your body clock is 3 time zones ahead, so you're up early. Hey, at least you get first crack at fresh waffles.
Bon appetit.
Oh, I will.
Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you triumph.
These are the people who make Gentleman Jack. Cultured. Refined. As smooth as the whiskey itself. Just kidding. They're the same folks who make Old Number 7. They simply take the time to mellow it twice. Gentleman Jack. Extra smooth. From the makers of Jack Daniels.
Great. Another wireless ad. So many of them are full of this complicated, tricky language about their network and offers and blah, 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 blah. Look, Sprint's going to do things differently and let you decide for yourself. They're offering a new 100% total satisfaction guarantee. Try it out and see the savings. If you don't love it, get your money back. See? Simple. Now Sprint's unlimited plan comes with one of the newest phones included for just $35 a month. So switch now.
I think I might buy it.
Well, you can always bring it back within 7 days for a full refund for any reason.
Like if I become allergic to yellow?
Sure.
Or my turtle hates it?
Okay.
That is good to know because Reggie is very opinionated.
I'm sure he is.
Valvoline is the only motor oil brand with a dedicated engine lab. And here, we test everything. We test seal conditioners to keep older engines from leaking. We test detergents to help reduce soot. We test additives that protect against wear, increase fuel economy, and fight carbon buildup. Why? Because we won't settle for being less than the best, and you shouldn't either. It's just one of the reasons Valvoline has been trusted for 150 years.
Shaving has been difficult for me. I have very sensitive skin. I get ingrown hairs, so it's a daunting task.